Welcome to our latest adventure. Today we explore the Four Lords Trials from Stormblood.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the Eorzean Archons. I'm FaZe.
And I'm Catherine.
This video is a complete lore summary of the Four Lords quest, which includes 3 trials and 2 dungeons.
There will be no spoilers in this video after the Stormblood expansion.
Remember to subscribe and click the bell icon if you'd like to be notified of future videos.
Let's get started. FaZe, we set sail on a new adventure today. Cast off. Sail us to Sorbonne across the seas. He has a message for us.
My apologies, but I'm meditating for our next great battle. I must mentally prepare.
Who needs to prepare? We defeated Susanoo. What do we have left to prove?
A wise samurai does not heedlessly charge into battle. You can only fight the way you practice.
Okay, it's not like you're some great samurai of legend. We can't be late for our meeting with Sorbonne.
You must understand, there's more than one path to the top of the mountain.
Once upon a time, in the Ruby Sea, we met with Sorbonne, who had an anonymous missive for us. The writer was impressed with our defeat of Susanoo, but not impressed enough, it would seem. Slaying primals is apparently not very impressive these days. To prove ourselves, they want us to battle in Hell's Lid and quell the Oni that dwell in its deepest depth. Interestingly, they also included a magic dagger in the missive with instructions for using it to open a secret passage in Hell's Lid. It would seem the dagger is very expensive, so perhaps the reward for this will be worth it. Sorbonne will meet us at Hell's Lid, and oh no, he's bringing Tataru along. Sorbonne, please, anyone but Tataru. Anyone. Let's bring Lise. She's probably not busy right now.
Sorbonne and Tataru join us at the entrance to Hell's Lid, and Sorbonne explains a bit of the ancient legend surrounding it. According to legend, Hell's Lid is where the samurai hero Tenzin defeated a host of Oni, who were tormenting the people of the Ruby Sea. Tenzin did so with the help of the Four Lords, and for his heroic deeds, he was showered with riches and retired early in the mountains with his friends. I wonder what that must be like. What's odd though is that no one has ever seen an Oni that Sorbonne knows of. The story is believed to just be a fairy tale. Regardless, Sorbonne and Tataru smartly leave the adventuring to us as we delve into Hell's Lid.
Deep within the volcano, we defeat all manner of hellish creatures heading deeper and deeper underground. At the end of our route is Genbu, a very old man turtle who hits us with his cane a few times. After his defeat, we're declared victorious and he suddenly transforms into the cutest little turtle I've ever seen. I want one. The poor guy seems a bit stuck though, and Sorbonne, understanding its plight, suggests we help him out. Suddenly, we're surrounded by the cutest little creatures ever! The baby turtle Genbu speaks up, impressed with our display of strength, and welcomes us to the Raizen Temple. He is the guardian and leader of this sacred place.
Sorbonne is very ironically shocked at meeting a talking turtle, and that the turtle's name is Genbu. For Genbu is one of the Four Lords from the Tale of Tenzin. It would seem this little turtle is the one who sent the missive. I hope he has some of Tenzin's riches, or this may not be a great guild-making expedition. Genbu goes on to explain that when a beast lives 1,000 years, it attains a measure of divinity, and this temple is a place where such auspices gather. He suggests we speak with his comrades here to learn more.
Turns out that these auspices aren't just cute and fluffy as they claim to be quite powerful. One said it could kill us 5 times before we hit the ground. Maybe some other time I'll duel this fat cat, Senri. After making the rounds, we talk with Genbu again, who tells us of their new predicament. Genbu's power as an auspice is that he's clairvoyant. As such, he has foreseen the entire region consumed by roaring flames. This foretelling is to come soon, and he needs our help to stop it. He explains that auspices have a complex balance internally that, when offset, cause them to go a bit crazy and cause natural disasters.
Turns out, it wasn't Oni that Tenzin drove out of the Ruby Sea, but an auspice named Koryu. He apparently has the power to move heaven and earth and stoke the flames in this island's heart until it nearly erupted in a fiery maelstrom. To prevent this, Tenzin with the Four Lords battled Koryu and sealed him in this temple. Unfortunately, the wards are weakening now, and Genbu fears that Koryu may break free. He doesn't think we'll be able to defeat Koryu alone though, and he's getting a bit old and can't do it on his own, so we'll need the other 3 of the Four Lords to help. Nothing is so straightforward though, as the other 3 lords are getting a bit crazy too in their old age. Not as bad as Koryu, which is why Genbu suggests we battle the other 3 lords to quell them and bring them back into balance.
We accept the challenge much to Genbu's delight, who wishes to introduce us to Byakko. We head over to meet Byakko, who isn't as cute as the other auspice, but Genbu assures us he doesn't bite. I encouraged Tataru to test out this theory, but she wouldn't budge. Genbu introduces us as the warriors who danced with Susanoo himself. Byakko seems impressed, seeing in us something like Tenzin. Rather than fight here, Byakko suggests we do battle in Yangxia, the land of his birth. Soroban and Tataru, of course, stay behind.
It begins. Receive of me my fury, children of man, and quell it!
To prevent Byakko from being consumed by his primal rage, we face the legendary Auspice in battle to save his soul.
Steel yourself!
Unfortunately, this form of Byakko does indeed bite. Lalafels, beware.
No more games!
After the battle, Byakko thanks us and again remarks how much we remind him of Tenzin. It was long ago that Byakko first met him. Byakko is shunned by man and beast alike because of his snow-white fur, which marked him as a harbinger of doom. With no friends or family, Byakko wandered the mountains, waiting to die. But death did not come, as he grew stronger and stranger with each century, feeling more and more alone.
One morning he awoke to a man standing before him. Byakko tried to scare him off, but the man did not flee, and said he spoke the language of the beasts. Byakko told him to return to his people, but the man, Tenzin, laughed, saying that if he did, they would kill him, for he was banished for his talents. They believed him to be a harbinger of doom. Byakko then saw in Tenzin a fellow outcast, cursed by his kin for his very nature. Soon after they embarked on a journey together, helping other solitary souls like themselves. That's enough storytelling for now, though. Byakko suggests we head back to the temple and talk with Genbu.
Genbu welcomes us back with congratulations and thanks us for saving his friend. We glance over at Soroban and Tataru and ask Genbu what's going on with them. He explains that he's teaching Soroban to assist in the maintenance of the wards. Tataru, on the other hand, was doing nothing useful. Apparently done yelling at Soroban, Tataru comes over to us to ask Genbu what sort of person Tenzin was. Genbu tells us that Tenzin, like us, had the Echo. Despite being shunned, he was always eager to help people. After he defeated Koryu, he gave the Auspices a sacred treasure, a very bright crystal which likely helped the Four Lords grow in power and protect the temple. With his tale finished, Genbu suggests we rest before we meet the next of the Four Lords.
After a quick catnap, we get word from the Kojin chief that he hasn't heard from Soroban in a while. He's worried about him, and it would seem Tataru is headed to the temple as well to check on him, so we decide to join. We meet up with Genbu and a very tired Soroban inside the temple. Genbu tells us that Soroban is doing well, but they may need more drastic measures if he is to maintain the wards. Apparently, he lacks divinity. Genbu wants Soroban to open a special box that holds the very power of time itself. The box would age Soroban 1,000 years to undergo the change of becoming an Auspice. Temporarily, of course.
Therefore, if an Auspice was exposed to the box long enough, they could die. Because of that, the box is kept under lock and key in the Swallow's compass. Genbu would like us to retrieve it and defeat any enemies that stand in our way. We run through the Swallow's compass to retrieve the magic Geomancy box. After defeating the Wukong Auspice and claiming our prize, we return to Genbu. He asks us to prepare ourselves for what is about to be unleashed. We all say a quick prayer for Soroban, and then take a giant step back away from the scary box.
Soroban opens the box, and a puff of smoke rises up and surrounds him. Nothing seems to happen immediately, and Tataru, believing it to be a fake, runs forward to check if there's a treasure inside. Genbu, realizing only now that she may not be the brightest, rushes forward to push her out of the way. We run over as well, and whoa, Tataru is old and creepy looking. It would seem Lalafels do not age well.
Genbu yells at Tataru, telling her she's lucky she's not dead right now. Man, if only she had stayed by the box a little while longer. But then poof, the magic is undone and Tataru is back to normal. Being distracted by Tataru for too long, the urchin, we forgot to check on Soroban's progress. A quick glance over shows that yes, he aged a little too far and has entered the Auspice crazy state as well. Genbu asks we subdue him before he destroys the temple. He then transforms into a big old man turtle and joins us in battle. Sorry, Soroban. It's not personal.
During the battle, Soroban summons a great flood, which Genbu is able to protect us from, but it saps his strength. Needing to withdraw from the battle, Genbu says that it's up to you two now, as we remember that, oh yeah, Tatru is here as well, doing nothing. All she seems capable of doing is standing in every AoE and needing rescuing. After a lot of dodging, on our part, we're able to bring Soroban back down to normal. Despite all the chaos, Genbu declares it a success.
While reassuring Soroban that he has great potential as Genbu himself when he was but a small turtle, Tatru asks how Genbu met Tenzin. Genbu tells us the tale of how long ago, when he was just starting to become something more, he began receiving visions of disasters that were to come. After 500 years, he felt strong enough to try and warn people of these disasters.
He recounts a time when a landslide was set to destroy a small village and how he went to warn the villagers. Humans can't speak turtle though, so his warnings fell on deaf ears. A very sad turtle, Genbu began to leave when he heard someone call out to him. It was Tenzin. He listened to Genbu's vision and told him that he and Byakko would help. Tenzin and Byakko then had a fake duel in the middle of the village, and Tenzin shouted for the village to flee as the tiger thirsted for the blood of man. The villagers left in haste, saving them from the landslide that came shortly after. Genbu was happy to have finally been able to help for the first time.
After that, the three became traveling companions and close friends, helping those in need with the help of his visions. Storytime over. Genbu tells Soroban that we must get back to his training at once, and we should prepare ourselves. For the next time that we meet, we must face another of the Four Lords in battle.
After some time passes, we receive a new missive from Genbu asking us to return to the temple. Once we're all assembled, Genbu tells us that Soroban's training is going very well, as he could one day be amongst the most formidable warriors. Unfortunately, the wards continue to grow weaker. It may not be long before Koryu escapes. We turn to greet our next opponent, and to our surprise see a great firebird. Genbu welcomes Suzaku, who has been keeping a silent vigil for hundreds of years.
Suzaku asks why she was summoned here, and he explains to her how he's just trying to get the band back together to defeat Koryu. Genbu explains to her that we're here to calm her primal rage, comparing us to Tenzin. Suzaku is pissed that he would compare us to Tenzin and equally at us for apparently thinking we're better than Tenzin, which we never said. She declares she's gonna beat us up to prove her point. Seems very personal. Wonder what's got her so fired up.
Genbu blames the crazy primal rage within her soul and asks us to go and talk with her. She doesn't seem very happy to talk with us though, no real surprise there. She seems to have had strong feelings for Tenzin. A bird in love with a man. Byakko steps in to try to reason with her, but it's no use. He warns us that she may be a bit delusional during our battle. Great. Crazy primal rage and delusional. What could go wrong?
Mine Arami Tamer is unbound!
Suzaku transforms into a firebird. With a dress? Not what I was expecting, but okay.
Tenzin? Tenzin, 'tis I! Sheathe your sword, I beg of you!
When the battle begins, Suzaku calls out to us, believing us to be Tenzin. She asks us to stop fighting her.
Trust in me, my love! I will protect you, I promise!
Just don't kiss me, Suzaku. I don't date firebirds. And what must be Suzaku's idea of a date? She has us play a game of DDR. With that game out of the way, Suzaku says she's never shown her true form yet, and transforms into a woman with flaming red hair atop a firebird.
All I ever wanted was for you and I to...
I take it all back. Embrace me, my love.
Careful, it would seem her love is very fierce.
After the weirdest date I've ever been on, Suzaku transforms back into normal, and the battle is complete.
With the battle over, Suzaku realizes the error of her ways and apologizes to us. For the first time, she is able to think about the man she loved without crying. She recounts to us how, long ago, she was born a firebird, and people believed her to bring them immortality, and so she was pursued endlessly. But Tenzin did not see her as such, and so she traveled with him and the Four Lords as comrades in arms. People didn't accept them, but Tenzin never gave up, helping people and slowly winning them over.
One day, word of their deeds reached the ears of a king who asked them to battle the mad auspice Koryu. Despite living for a few centuries, they were still no match for their foe. As a last-ditch effort, Tenzin unleashed a powerful attack, knowing full well that it would leave him exposed. He was successful, but at the cost of his own life. He must have channeled a Madare Setsugeka in an AoE. Suzaku laments that she was not the firebird of legend that could bring people immortality, wishing she could only have saved Tenzin from death. Though in the cruelest irony, she has since gained the ability to save people even from death, but resolves to use it in memory of Tenzin.
With Suzaku herself once more, we meet back up with Genbu and the gang. Set on continuing our path forward, we look to check in on Soroban. In from above comes a rocket tortoise flying in and landing before us. It's Soroban. He has ascended to an auspice, albeit temporarily. Or at least Soroban hopes it's temporary. Seeing as we have some downtime, we take our leave and let Soroban cool down before tackling the last of the four lords.
Sometime later, we get a missive again asking us to quickly return to the Raizen Temple. Upon arrival, we find Suzaku, Byaku, and Soroban barely maintaining the seal on Koryo's jail. We need to quell the wrath of Sirio, the final of the four lords, in order to muster enough strength to seal away Koryo for good. Genbu warns us that Sirio is perhaps the most formidable foe we'd face yet, able to command a great force we must see to believe. With impeccable timing, Sirio slithers his way into the temple. He agrees to battle with us, but only if we compete on the Isle of Beko, his newfound home.
Prove me wrong, mortals. Make me submit or die by our insolence! Ah! Impudent mortals! Grant me the strength to smite mine enemies!
In the wake of our clear victory over the snake, Sirio tells us of his reasoning for wanting to battle us so much. Long, long ago, Sirio was considered a kami to those that met him. However, when calamity struck, the people of his island mistook Sirio for the cause. They began to offer him the flesh of their flesh. Though unrelated, these sacrifices made to Sirio coincided with good fortune, and so they began to offer their young. Sirio, not being the monster that they claimed, spirited the children away to a safe island. Over time, his worshippers became defilers and sent swordsmen to kill their supposed kami.
No amount of mercenaries could best Sirio, until Tenzin and his companions stumbled across the snake. He challenged Sirio and bested him, though the samurai did not aim to kill, only to offer Sirio the chance to begin anew. From that day on, Sirio trained alongside the samurai, wishing to one day best him in single combat. That day would never come, for it was only after Tenzin died that Sirio gained the power of the auspices. A battle with us was the next best thing to a rematch with Tenzin, and though he lost, it reminded him of his promise to follow Tenzin's cause.
Realizing that Genbu left already, we assumed there must be urgent matters to be dealt with at the Raizen Temple. As we arrive, it's clear that we have no time to delay. The four lords reunite, transform, and unleash their energy into Koryo's jail. The burst of energy mends the seal and the jail stops glowing. We did it. Or so we thought. A flash of light fills the room and we find ourselves standing in a cloudy void. In front of us is none other than Koryu. He cries out for our destruction and hyperbeams Genbu.
Genbu's Protect can't hold back the force of the attack, and the shield shatters. Taking the full force of the beam, Genbu dies. Outmatched, the remaining four lords tell us to flee, but we must seek revenge for Genbu, so we jump forward to challenge Koryu. Believing us to be Tenzin, Koryu declares he will kill us again, and we are suddenly surrounded by a whirling energy that begins to consume our party. That is, until the darkness is dispelled by a master of the blade. Tenzin stands amongst us.
With the power of his infernal blade and our aether, we deal a damaging blow to Koryu. This blow gives an opening for Byaku, Suzaku, and Sirio to seal Koryu, but without Genbu, their power isn't strong enough. Soroban steps forward and begins a ritual prayer, summoning the soul of Genbu into his own body. At the cost of his own soul, Soroban is replaced by Genbu. With all four lords now assembled again, they combine their strength and seal Koryu away once again.
In another burst of light, we find ourselves again in the temple, with the war resealed. The spirit of Tenzin looks on in approval. It's a bittersweet victory, though, as in order to seal away Koryu with the power of the Four Lords, Sorbonne gave up his body to Genbu. Except Genbu says we've got it all wrong. Sorbonne yet lives. In a puff of smoke, Genbu transforms back into Sorbonne. Due to his extensive training, Sorbonne was able to withstand hosting another soul within his own body, effectively allowing both Genbu's and Sorbonne's souls to share the same host body, though this eclipse of the souls is only temporary, as the body will eventually cling on to the more powerful soul, which Genbu believes to be Sorbonne's. I guess all that training paid off.
After saying our farewells to all of our new animal friends, we returned to Genbu in Sorbonne's form to claim our promised treasure for helping. The look on our faces is priceless when instead of the usual useless reward, Genbu drops crates full of gold in front of us. This might actually cover the cost of all of Alphino's poor purchases. Tataru has the auspices move the gold to the Ruby Bazaar, probably to hoard it all for herself. Wait, where's our cut? Since Sorbonne is going to be busy for the next 500 years or so with his new role as one of the Four Lords, we better go tell his clan he won't be coming home anytime soon. Do you think Sorbonne would notice if I took one of these furry creatures home with me? They're so cute.
I don't know if that's the best idea. Pretty sure they're needed here to defend against Koryu.
I'm worried about them. What if we can't defeat him when he's unleashed again?
If he awakens again, I will personally come and beat him up in a giant mech suit.
Where on earth are you going to find one of those sitting around?
I don't know, there's a lot of Garlean wreckage laying around. Maybe we can get Sid to build us one, like Gaius' Ultima weapon. Here, I'll drop some cool designs.
No more games!
Be sure to thumbs up and hit the subscribe button down below. Click the bell to be notified of future videos.
What did you enjoy, or not enjoy, about the Four Lords quests? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching!
Behold, fury given form!
All I ever wanted was for you and I to hearken to my melody.
You've nowhere to run!